Welcome to CCNTV. I'm your host, Captivating Christian, and here are some of your top stories for today, March 17th. The White House denies it's weighing national curfew over the coronavirus outbreak. Who gets saved and who collapses? Pompeo warns China against the spreading of outlandish rumors about the coronavirus. And Florida struggles to respond to the coronavirus in time for key primary. Republican xenophobia is going to make the pandemic even worse. And Vladimir Putin takes the next steps in staying in power until the year 2036. Let's get to the news. The White House on Monday denied that it's considering a national curfew in response to the coronavirus outbreak. Rumors of the national quarantine swirled last week, contributing to the countrywide ransacking of grocery stores by people who are afraid of what's ahead. The White House coronavirus task force member Anthony Fauci said during a media appearance on Sunday that he'll rule out nothing to stop the virus. But Pence appeared to pour cold water on that idea, saying that at a Sunday briefing with the Center of Disease Control and Prevention would issue new guidelines on Monday that, while all respect and differ to decisions that are made by governors, by state health departments about what is best for that community. At the same briefing, however, on Sunday, President Trump asked Americans to not hoard the grocery stores. You don't have to buy so much. He said, relax, we're doing great, it will pass. But Trump's reassurance hasn't calmed the market panic. The Dow fell nearly 2,000 points Monday morning, down nearly a third after hitting an all-time pre-crisis high last month. Talks of a curfew could feed the panic. As Americans brace for the rapid spread of the COVID-19 across the U.S., once booming industries have already suffered deadly symptoms of the economic downturn. Consumers, after panic buying, are expected to hunker down and limit their spending. Sports events, concerts, and other entertainments are now suspended. Businesses are canceling travel as well as conferences, and airlines and trains are slashing schedules. The sudden prescriptive shutdown across the economy are forcing the Trump administration and lawmakers to contemplate which industries need targeted rescues to keep them from collapsing entirely, and which can get by on the border support for struggling workers across the nation. While lawmakers consider an immediate package for workers, hashing out by Democratic leaders in the White House, Trump and his aides have been meeting with businesses leaders as well as industry groups to design a package through tax relief and emergency loans for corporate sector. The core challenge is everyone can't get help, so the government must pick winners and losers from the downturn, with a focus on industries whose collapse would ripple through the system. It's a debate that will escalate in the coming days as the economic consequences of the crisis become clearer. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo on Monday warned his Chinese counterpart against spreading outlandish rumors about the coronavirus pandemic. The State Department spokeswoman Morgan Ortagus said Pompeo conveyed U.S. strong objection to Chinese efforts to blame the COVID-19 on the United States. In a phone call with the director of the Chinese Office of Foreign Affairs, the secretary stressed that this is not the time to spread disinformation and outlandish rumors, but rather a time for all nations to come together to fight the common threat. Pompeo also posted on Twitter accusing Beijing's government officials of promoting disinformation and outlandish rumors. The United States is sparing no effort to protect our people and contain the global coronavirus pandemic. Beijing must acknowledge the role and be part of the solution. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention believes that the virus originated from animal to human transmission from a livestock market in Wuhan. The World Health Organization has also said that the COVID-19 is caused by a new virus that was unknown before the outbreak began in Wuhan back in December. Governor Ron DeSantis last week declared a state of emergency in Florida in the face of the coronavirus as millions of Floridians are set to vote on Tuesday in a crucial delegate-rich primary that will help determine whether Bernie Sanders stays in the Democratic presidential nomination race against Joe Biden. In Florida, the impact of the virus, if left unchecked, could be potentially harsh on the state's ability to allow people to vote or vote safely without fear of infection. The state is home of one of the largest elderly populations in the country, with around 20% of its residents being 65 years or older. While the age group tends to be a stable voting bloc for both political parties, it is also the most vulnerable to the virus, which has a mortality rate of about 18% of those over 80 years old. Bigotry has always served Donald Trump well. Racism played no small part in his ascension to the White House. It is not surprising that stressful moments Donald Trump returns to racism and xenophobia, the wellsprings of his political strength. In a national address on Wednesday night, Trump describes the coronavirus as a foreign virus. The president reiterated his comment to solving this problem primarily through border control. He announced new restrictions on travel from many European countries and suggested that Europe itself had been laggard in not restricting visitors from China. President Vladimir Putin has formally asked Russia's constitutional court if it's legal for him to change the constitution. The Kremlin said on Saturday a move that could permit him to remain in power until 2036. In January, Putin unveiled a major shakeup of Russian politics and a constitutional overhaul, which the Kremlin billed as a redistribution of power from the presidency to the parliament. But Putin, age 67, who has dominated Russia's political landscape for 2 decades as either president or prime minister, made a dramatic appearance in parliament on the 10th of March to back a new amendment that would allow him to ignore a current constitutional ban on him running again in 2024. Americans are flocking to gun stores and waiting in long lines as they worry about what is to come in the next few months as society will be shut down. The Los Angeles Times reported on Monday gun sales in some states affected by the virus thus far, such as California, New York, and Washington State, are particularly on the rise. Consumers, reportedly both first-timers, worried about the state of society, and previous gun owners who are unsettled by the prospect of the government limiting their purchases during the national emergency. The increase in gun sales reportedly began several weeks ago in states including Washington State and California, where large numbers of Asian Americans purchase guns out of fear of the anti-Asian bias, which has spiked amidst the pandemic. But states with high numbers of coronavirus aren't the only ones where residents are lining up for ammunition, with Oklahoma, Alabama, Wisconsin, and Delaware experiencing an increase in sales and high demand, according to reports. Ammo.com reported that 68% increase in sales between February 23rd and March 4th when compared to previously 11 days, the USA Today reported. Gun control advocates have warned that the many nationwide school closures will lead to children and teenagers in homes with unsecured guns. And once again, thank you for watching TCN News. I am your host, Captivating Christian. And as always, Be the change you want to see. If you want change, the change starts with you. As always, please like, share, and subscribe, and leave comments below. I would like to hear what you think about these stories and more. All right, have a good day. Peace.